John Beltran back at Elizabeth High School as we're about to start this game between the Mustangs and the Cardinals. Both teams going for their 10th league victories against no losses and their 12th overall wins. Mustangs, as I mentioned, still have another game against Elizabeth in Fort Morgan on Wednesday, Saturday against Vista Peak. And then they will close out the regular season next week with 2 games against the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. So these games against Elizabeth essentially determine, for the 3rd consecutive year, the Colorado 7 League title. And the one thing that's noticed immediately is that Elizabeth is the veteran squad here. The Mustangs are starting a few sophomores, so they'll have to overcome their youth. And some great pitching for the junior Kyle Daniels, who was the winning pitcher last year in this matchup when the Mustangs hit a couple of home runs, one by Austin Cosman, who had a big year last year home run-wise, hasn't homered this year, but is having a better year average and RBI-wise. And he will bat third, as Sean Herr, the right-hander, will deliver to the opening hitter, Kyle Daniels, hitting .532. He's second on the team with 25 hits. And that .532 average
Kyle Daniels, number 4,
is number 1 on the team. This will be the right-hander, Herr, against the left-handed hitting Daniels. Here's the wind and pitch. And that fastball's a strike on the inner half. It's 0-1. Gorgeous day in Elizabeth, a little bit cool, but certainly good enough baseball weather. All-speed pitch is grounded to first, and a nice hop there for Weston Haber, who backed up and made the play as he stepped on the bag. And on 2 pitches, there's 1 down. And that'll send up the number 2 hitter, Trevor Shirtliff, the sophomore, hitting .367 on the year, hitting from the right side. Yeah, Daniels usually takes some pitches at the beginning of the game, but he had strikes thrown there by her. He didn't want to fall behind in the count. And the offering, and the curveball's a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Lots of all-speed stuff already thrown by Sean Herr. Here's the wind of the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back, and a pitch up in the zone. No balls and 2 strikes. To the sophomore center fielder for Fort Morgan. 0-2 to Shirtliff. Herr has thrown nothing but strikes so far. Gets the sign from Simon. The pitch swung on and grounded to short. To his right is Weber. He charges. Fields throws to the run, and that's going to be late. And it's a base hit for Trevor Shirtliff on the slow roller out there towards short. And the Mustangs have a man on with 1 down for Austin Cosman. Cosman's been tearing it up this season, hitting .510. 26 hits to lead the team, along with a team leading 11 doubles, and first in RBIs with 14, so he leads in 3 major categories. 2-step lead for Shirtliff. Herr delivers. Swung on and grounded to third. To his left. The throw to second goes into center field. An errant throw over there by Weary. And to third will be Shirtliff, and that's the first error of the game. The ball got stuck in Weary's glove, but he was able to get it out, then made a throw right into the ground that the second baseman, Hagerman, could not scoop. So it's an error on the third baseman. And now the Mustangs with runners at the corners, with 1 down for Joey Schneider. Fort Morgan has not hit the ball hard yet, but they've got runners in scoring position, or 1 runner in scoring position. Schneider hitting .340. He's driven in 13, second on the team. Stretch and pitch, and the breaking ball is up and in. The first ball of the game thrown by this right-hander. 1 ball and no strikes. The stretch by Herr. Runners take their leads. And the offering. That's a fastball, a little bit outside. If that pitch is any indication, it's going to be a hitter strike zone. 2-0. Just barely missed the corner. 2 balls and no strikes. First and third, 1 out, top of the first inning, and the pitch. And that is a strike right there at the knees. Took something off it. It's 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Schneider. Just underway from Elizabeth. Again, the runners take their leads. The pitch runner going swung on and fouled back as Cosman was taking off, and the count moves to 2-2 on Joey Schneider. And it would appear just by watching her that his out pitch is going to be the off-speed stuff. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 down. The stretch by her. And the pitch to Schneider. And that's low and away. Looked like a changeup. It's 3-2. Now let's see if Cosman takes off from first. Even though there's only 1 out. Obviously doesn't have to go. The stretch and the pitch is upstairs with a fastball. And the bases are loaded as Joey Schneider walks. And that'll send up Carlito Urquieta, the senior shortstop. And we're going to have a courtesy runner. That'll be Hector Luna running for Schneider at first. So it's Shurtleff, Cosman, and Luna, third, second, and first. Urquieta is batting .356, driven in 8 runs on the year. And already a key moment in the game. And the Elizabeth infield is playing halfway in the middle. And her, with the bases loaded, will operate out of the stretch. When it comes to livestock feed, you can rely on Colorado Soy to help deal with the nutritional needs of your livestock. Visit coloradosoy.com. And home of the $8.95 dinner menu during the week and the best prime rib on Friday and Saturdays. That's Atwood Steakhouse. So Urquieta steps in from the right side. Simon lays down the sign. And the pitch. And it's upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. We've seen 3 different types of pitches already from her. The fastball, changeup, and curveball. Who's going to try to keep these Mustangs off balance. And the 1-0. And that's right there for a strike on the inside corner. The count is at 1-1. The shortstop Weber cheating a little bit towards the bag with Cosman taking the lead. Her stretches, now back to his natural position, the pitch, and that is down and away with a changeup. It's 2-1. On deck is Kenny Keller. The Mustangs are looking to break through here in the top of the first inning on the road against Elizabeth. The stretch, and the 2-1, up and in. 3 balls and 1 strike to Carlito Urquieta. Well, let's see if he's taking all the way. Her came into this game with some very good numbers, 4-1 with a 2.8 ERA, but struggling now with his command. 3-1 to Urquieta. Swung on and grounded to short. Weber to his right has got it. He'll set, he'll throw to first in time, and retired as Urquieta. Scoring is Trevor Shurtleff. And the Mustangs lead 1-0 as the other runners advance here in the top of the first inning. That'll bring up Kenny Keller. Keller hitting .356 on the season. So Carlito did his job, just put it in play. Got the run in, the stretch. And the offering upstairs. One with a heater. One ball and no strikes. Her looks in. And the 1-0 pitch upstairs again. 2 balls and no strikes to Kenny Keller, the number 6 hitter in this Fort Morgan lineup. Cosman at third. Luna at second. And the 2-0 pitch high again, up and in. taking something off of that to try to find the strike zone, but instead it is 3-0, and Herr's already walked one in this frame. So Keller will be taking all the way on the 3-0 pitch. Here it is, and it is outside. It's a 4-pitch walk to the Mustang left fielder, and the bases are reloaded for Trey McBride. The freshman is having a banner season, hitting .400, driven in 9. He's hit 2 of Fort Morgan's 4 home runs on the year. The stretch by Sean Herr. And the pitch is down and in with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. That is 5 consecutive pitches outside the strike zone for Herr. And the 1-0. And that's a fastball for a strike. Belt high, it's 1-1. Cosman at third, Loon at second, Keller at first. This will be the 23rd pitch. Check it, the 24th of the opening inning. Coming here from Sean Herr. And here it is. Swung on and popped up extremely high into shallow center field. Weber, the shortstop, is out, and he's going to give way to Stuart Urich, who makes the catch. That was a major league pop-up, but the Cardinals make the play. The Mustangs in the first inning score a run on 1 hit, 1 error, and the bases were left loaded. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning. Fort Morgan 1. Elizabeth is coming to bat on B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan scored a run in the top of the first inning. Let's get to the Elizabeth starting lineup. Batting first is the second baseman, Tyler Hagerman. Right fielder Ryan Schaefer at second. The shortstop, Willie Weber, bats third. Batting cleanup is the center fielder, Stuart Urich. Weston Haber, the first baseman, hits fifth. Sean Herr, the pitcher, hits sixth. Catcher Grant Simon bats seventh. Kyle Savickas, the DH, bats eighth. And Jackson Weary at third base hits ninth. The Mustangs defensively at first base have Nate Cage. Over at second is Bladen Pollitt. Austin Cosman at third. Around the outfield, of course, at short, Carlito Urquieta. Kenny Keller in left. Trevor Shurtleff in center. Trey McBride in right. Swung on, lined up the middle for a base hit. Behind the plate, Joey Schneider and Kyle Daniels just gave a base hit there to Hagerman on the first pitch in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up the right-handed hitting Ryan Schaefer. Daniels 5-2 with a 1.79 ERA coming into the game. Schaefer batting .378, the stretch and the offering, and the changeup is a ball. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a hitter's zone. Those pitches off the corner will be called balls, as we saw in the top of the first inning. And with that particular pitch, 1 ball, no strikes. Short lead at first against the left-handed Daniels. The pitch and the breaking ball is a strike on the outer half. It's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The stretch by Daniels. And the throw back to first, back and diving is Hagerman. Yeah, defense will certainly be a key in this game, as Elizabeth found out in the first inning, committing an error that led to a run. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss and a ball down in the zone. It's 1-2 to Schaefer. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hagerman began the bottom of the first inning with a solid base hit up the middle. Daniels gets the sign from Schneider. And the 1-2. Curveball is lined and caught by Cosman. Throw back the first double play. Doubled up as Hagerman. There's 2 down. On a ball that was scorched by Schaefer. But right at Austin Cosman, I should say. And there's 2 down for Willie Weber. Heading for the left side, the Elizabeth shortstop today. Lefty against lefty. Wind by Daniels, the pitch. Fastball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Weber's hitting .386. Man, he is driving in runs big time. A team leading 22. The offering. Swung on and popped up into shallow left field. Kenny Keller now locating it to his right. Makes the grab. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. and nobody left. Let's head to the second in Elizabeth. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing. This is B106 and B106.com. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Fort Morgan as they lead in Elizabeth 1-0 going into the top half of the second inning against right-hander Sean Herr. Mustangs had the bases loaded on 2 occasions in the first inning. Carlito Urquieta drove in the run with a ground out. Here's a sophomore first baseman, Cage, hitting .314. And one of his goals is to cut down on the strikeouts. That'll happen when you're young. The wind and the pitch swung on and fouled back on a ball letter high. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, with this Colorado 7 league so unbalanced, nice to see 2 good baseball teams on the same field. No balls and 1 strike. And the offering, and the breaking ball bounces into the screen. The count is level at 1-1 on Nate Cage. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East in Fort Morgan will fit you to the car truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, Ehrlich Toyota East. The pitch down and away with a fastball 2-1. Keep in mind you can register right now at Ehrlich Toyota East for 2 Rockies tickets valued at $90 apiece. Friday, May 22nd, Memorial Day game and fireworks show because they're on the road Memorial Day against the Giants. 2-1 swing and a missing a fastball away. That levels the count at 2-2 to Cage. And again, you can register for that right there as you walk into Ehrlich Toyota East. No purchase necessary. Name and phone number or email address. You got to be present, though, to win. Swung on and fouled back on a fastball above the letters. Cage stays alive. It's 2-2. Fort Morgan leading 1-0 in the top of the second inning on a gorgeous Monday in Elizabeth. Simon lays down the sign. And the 2-2 pitch. And the breaking ball is lifted into center field. Urich is coming in 3 steps, makes the catch, and there's 1 down. And that'll send up Adrian Marquez. Marquez hitting .300. Did homer in his last game against Vista Peak. He has not started in many of the games, but hitting the ball well in his brief time in the lineup. The wind and pitch rides inside with a fastball. It's 1-0. With 1 down and the bases empty in the second. And the offering. Swung on and fouled back on the off-speed. Moves the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, you can follow a pitch-by-pitch account of this game at KSIRsports.com. Click on Faster Connections. You get a complete box score as you get it with any Major League game. And the 1-1. The curveball is a beauty on the inside corner at the knees, and that moves the count to 1-2 to the right-handed hitting DH Adrian Marquez. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sean Herr, the right-hander, delivers. Swung on and popped into center. Urich is coming in a long run. He misread it initially, and he's going to make the catch on the run in right center field. And there's 2 down. And Urich simply made up for the initial misread with a lot of speed. That'll bring up Kyle Daniels, the pitcher. And wouldn't you know it, the sun has disappeared, and already the temperature feels like it's beginning to drop. The left-hander hitting Daniels awaits the pitch from Sean Herr, and here it is, down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Herr gets the sign. And the 1-0 offering, squaring the bunt, and it's in the dirt, 2-0, as Daniels laid off. Two balls and no strikes to the opposing pitcher. And the offering, right there for a strike. Count moves to 2-1. Kyle Daniels at the plate with the bases empty. Wind and pitch. Swung on and foul back. 2-2. Daniels registered not a 1-2-3, but he faced the minimum number of hitters in the bottom of the first inning. Her looking for the first natural 1-2-3 inning. Half inning in the top of the second. 2-2 to Daniels. The pitch inside. With the off speed, it's 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Her ready. Wind and pitch. Swung on line. Foul off to the left. A late swing by Daniels. It remains at 3-2. 1-0 Fort Morgan on Carlito Urquieta's RBI ground out in the first inning. 3-2. Once again to Kyle Daniels. And the offering. Swung on and driven into the right center field gap. Long run to his right. And making the catch in the gap for Elizabeth is Ryan Schaefer. And the Mustangs are out 1-2-3 in the top of the second inning. Let's head to the bottom of the second after this 1-minute break. It's Fort Morgan 1 and Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.com. Stuart Urich will step in for Elizabeth as we begin the bottom of the second inning. And the Mustangs of Fort Morgan leading 1-0. Both teams have a hit. But the difference right now is an error in the top of the first inning, allowing Urquieta later on to drive in a run. And the pitch, and the curveball is low. 1 ball and no strikes to the center fielder, Stuart Urich. He's already been busy defensively in this game. And the 1-0 offering. Breaking ball is a strike at the knees. Count levels at 1-1. Daniels gets the sign, the pitch. Swung on line towards right field. Coming in is McBride. He makes the catch. That ball was hit hard, and let me tell you, this Elizabeth team has had a couple of hard swings, 3 hard swings on Daniels. One turned into a line drive double play. That'll bring up Weston Haber. Another right-handed hitter for Elizabeth, and Daniels got to keep the ball down a little bit. Some good swings against him so far. The pitch. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. It's 0-1 to Weston Haber. Daniels working quickly, and the 0-1 offering. Swung on and grounded to short. Urquieta comes in, fields, sets, throws, offline. Cage applies the tag, and there's 2 down.
Number 18, Sean Hurd.
That'll bring up Sean Hurd. Nice play over there by the sophomore first baseman Cage. And Kyle Daniels has retired, 4 hitters, 1 on a double play. He's thrown only 12 pitches. Wind and offering. Breaking ball swung on and missed in the dirt. No balls and 1 strike. Cosman playing nearly on the edge of the grass at third. And the offering. Breaking ball is outside. And the count levels at 1-1. To the opposing pitcher. Wind and offering. Fastball is grounded into left field for a base hit. And Elizabeth picks up their second hit in as many innings. Here comes the catcher, Grant Simon.
Number 2, Grant
Simon coming into this at bat is hitting .429. That's third on the team. Stuart Urich hitting .477. Leads the team. Short lead for her. And the pitch. And that's upstairs with a heater. It's 1 ball and no strikes. To Grant Simon. With 2 down, a man at first in the bottom of the second inning. And throw back to first, and back in diving is her. We'll see a 1-0 pitch here momentarily from Kyle Daniels. Here it is. Breaking ball is outside. You want to pitch to this guy because Kyle Savickas on deck has been destroying the baseball, hitting .480. He actually leads the team. The pitch. Swung on and grounded to short. Urquieta's got it. Flips to second for the out. And that does it for Elizabeth in the second. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. 2 complete. It's Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing. This is B106 and B106.com. 2, 3, and 4 coming up here for Fort Morgan in the third inning in Elizabeth, that is. The Mustangs leading 1-0 on Carlito Urquieta's ground out in the first. Elizabeth has out-hit Fort Morgan 2-1. And Trevor Shirtliff will step in against the right-hander Sean Herr. Shirtliff has the only hit for Fort Morgan. That was an infield hit. The only thing the Mustangs have gotten out of the infield are fly balls and one line drive to the center fielder Stuart Urich. So here's the sophomore Shirtliff. First 2 innings moving along swiftly with some good pitching and, for the most part, some good defense. Here's the wind and pitch. Low with the off speed. It's 1-0. We haven't had a strikeout in this game as of yet either. 1 ball and no strikes to the center fielder for Fort Morgan. And the pitch. Squaring the bunt, takes a fastball outside. Count moves to 2 balls and no strikes. Now I got a ball getting loose down the right side. 2 balls and no strikes. B&J Plumbing can handle all your plumbing needs, from clogged drains to a major construction project. 522-3828. And the breaking ball's a strike at the knees. 2-1. To Trevor Shirtliff. Elizabeth will make the 100-mile drive on Wednesday and play in Fort Morgan. 4 o'clock to pitch, and that is low. And Herr's had a lot of struggles here with his control. 23 strikes and 21 balls through 2+ innings. He's already walked 2. And that's a fastball for a strike. 3-2 to Shirtliff. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the wind and pitch. Swung on and lifted into deep left field. To his left is Jake Lawson in the gap, and he's going to get cut off over there by Urich. Boy, that was some very odd communication there. Unless Lawson didn't say anything, because Urich raced over like Kelly Leak and Bad News Bears and made the catch. 1 down for Austin Cosman. Cosman reached on an error. Of course, the center fielder is the quarterback of the outfield, but Lawson was clearly closer to the ball as it was descending. The pitch, and that's a ball low and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Laying down the sign is Simon, and the 1-0. And the breaking ball is popped up on the right side. The first baseman, Haber, in foul territory, still moving, and makes the basket catch. Excellent play over there by Haber. There's 2 down. And again, some solid defense. For the most part, Schneider walked. And all of a sudden, Sean Herr has retired 6 in a row. Here's the wind and offering, and the breaking ball bounces in. 1 ball and no strikes to the cleanup hitter, Joey Schneider. So Austin Cosman officially at 0 for 2. And the offering, swung on, lined into left field for a base hit. And Schneider will get a courtesy runner in Hector Luna momentarily. The Mustangs come through with their second hit of the game. And here's Carlito Urquieta, who drove in the lone run with a first inning ground out. So he's inside the batter's box with 2 down in the third. Fort Morgan leads Elizabeth 1-0. 2-step lead for Luna. Now her going to step off momentarily. Novus Auto Glass Repair and Replacement. Novus gets you back on the road. A very short lead, the pitch. Down and away with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes to the Mustangs shortstop. After today, 4 more regular season games, but these 2 against Elizabeth are easily the most critical. And the 1-0. And that's a fastball for a strike at the knees. On the outer half, it's 1-1. Schneider's base hit ended a string of 6 in a row, retired by her. The stretch. And the 1-1 bounces in to Simon. Nice backhanded scoop. 2 balls and 1 strike. To Carlito Urquiera. And the 2-1 offering. Swing and foul tipped into the glove of Simon. And the count is at 2-2. Well, if he can work it to 3-2, then Luna would get a head start with 2 down. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out on the all-speed pitch. And the Mustangs are done in the top of the third. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left at first base. 2.5 complete in Elizabeth. It is Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth 0. This is Mustang Baseball on B106 and B106.com. Elizabeth has had base hits in each of the first 2 innings. But the Mustangs of Fort Morgan have the lead. Going into the bottom of the third, 1-0. And the Cardinals will send up the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Kyle Savickas, Jackson Weary, and Tyler Hagerman. Wind and pitch, down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. The left-hander delivers, swung on and grounded left side. Urquiera to his right has got it. Sets, throws to first, and an excellent throw there to retire Savickas for out number 1. A bullet thrown by the senior shortstop. And here's Jackson Weary. Yeah, this game is all about defense right now. Weary hitting from the right side as well. The offering. Swung on, grounded into left field for a base hit beyond the diving Austin Cosman. And for the 3rd consecutive inning, Elizabeth has a base hit against Daniels. And here's Tyler Hagerman, who led off the bottom of the first with a hit right up the middle. So they've gotten some decent swings here, some good swings on Daniels. He's got to locate a little bit better. The stretch and the offering, and the breaking ball bounces in, blocked beautifully by Schneider. 1 ball and no strikes. Schneider lays down the sign. It's a 2-step lead at first over there for Weary. The offering and the curveball bounces in. 2-0. Daniels has thrown 23 pitches through 2 1/3 innings. He's economized those pitches very well. Throw back to first, back in diving is Weary. And now Hagerman is in a hitter's count. The stretch by Daniels. 2-0. Swing and a miss and a fastball up and away. That could have been ball 3. Looked like Hagerman was trying to go the other way. 2-1. The stretch and the offering. Curveball is upstairs. 3-1 to Hagerman. Elizabeth has not had 2 men on base in an inning, but that could happen right now. And the throw back to first, back in diving once again is Weary. 1-0 Fort Morgan leads in the bottom of the 3rd inning on Carlito Urquiera's RBI ground out in the 1st. And the offering. Swung on and driven to center field. Coming to his left is Shurtleff, and he's going to make the catch about 4 steps to his left, and there's 2 down.
Number 12,
And Ryan Schaefer, who hit into a line drive double play, as Cosman was able to make it, will now bat. Schneider setting up on the inside. Now towards the middle. And the offering. Curveball, swing and a miss. That thing just dove out of the strike zone. It's 0-1. No balls, one strike, 2 down, 1 on. Bottom of the third inning. The Mustangs lead by a run in Elizabeth in the first of 2 games over a 3-day period. The long pause pitch to Schaefer. Up and away. Took something off of the count as it 1 ball and 1 strike. Brush and University right now on 1010 and KSIR.com from Greeley as Chris Brom is calling that game. The stretch. Long pause and the throw back to first. They got him caught. Cage is going to throw to second. Urquieta back towards first. Urquieta throws to Daniels. Daniels back towards second. Here is Pollitt. Pollitt's going to run it towards Cage, who applies the tag. And picked off over there is Jackson Weary. And the pickoff will go 1 to 3 to 6 to 4 to 3, and that does it. As simple as that. Let's head to the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.com. We head to the top of the 4th inning after a nice pickoff there by Kyle Daniels, which needed a rundown. And the Mustangs lead by a score of 1-0. And stepping in will be Kenny Keller, who drew a walk in his first at bat. Against the right-hander Sean Herr, the pitch, and the breaking ball bounces in. 1 ball and no strikes. Line and pitch. Swung on line into left field for a base hit. And the Mustangs pick up their 3rd hit. This one coming to lead off the 4th from Kenny Keller. That'll bring Trey McBride. He popped to center with the bases loaded. And that came in the opening inning. Herr looks in. And the pitch squaring to bunt. Outside throw back to first, and Keller was way off the bag, but so was the throw. Boy, that was not very good base running. Keller got a break there. Good throw, and Keller's going to be out. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, I'm sure it's a conventional sacrifice. It's not like a suicide sacrifice. The stretch, squaring to bunt, and he takes it for a strike. The fastball at the knees. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Trey McBride. The 1-0 first inning lead is holding up here in the 4th. Simon puts down the sign. And the pitch squaring to bunt, and he pops it foul towards the screen. AC Ice proudly supports local high school sports throughout Northeast Colorado. When you need ice, don't just settle for any old frozen water. Get AC Ice at any local grocery or convenience store near you. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To Trey McBride. Short lead at first for Keller. The stretch. And the pitch. And the breaking ball swung on and missed. Strikeout number 2. For Sean Herr, there's 1 down. That'll send up Nate Cage, who popped to center in his first at bat. Big pitch there thrown by Herr. Elizabeth at double play depth. And the offering. Up and in with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, Herr has thrown about double the number of pitches that Kyle Daniels has. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and lifted into foul territory. Long run for the first baseman. Haber cannot get to the ball as it drops, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And Keller was taking off there. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. 1-0 Fort Morgan. And the top of the 4th inning from Elizabeth. Again, a short lead for Kenny Keller. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and lifted into left field. Lost it to his left in the gap. He's going to run in, make the two-handed catch. Retreating to first is Keller. And there's 2 down. That'll bring up Marquez, who popped to the center fielder, Urich, in his first at bat. Yeah, both teams looking for that big hit. Even though Fort Morgan has a run on the board, Elizabeth just about gave them that run the pitch, and that's low and away. With the off-speed pitch, it's 1-0. We're in the 4th inning. Keller led off the 4th with a base hit. He's still there with 2 down. Herr delivers. The breaking ball is a beauty at the knees. And the count levels at 1-1. Coach Langford has said he doesn't want his team to change their approach, but change their timing. And you got to adjust your timing against these off-speed pitchers. The offering, swing and a miss on a changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes. To Adrian Marquez. Keller with a 3-step lead. Marquez awaiting the pitch. And here it is, outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Elizabeth in the bottom of the 4th inning will have their big hitters coming up. Marquez awaits the 2-2 and took something off it. It's 3-2. And now Keller will be taking off with a pitch. So a base hit in the outfield should get Keller to third easily. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down in the top of the 4th inning. Stretch by Herr. Keller did not take off, and it's outside. I don't know why. I have no idea what he was doing there. You got to take off. Marquez walks. 3rd walk issued by Herr. And here's Kyle Daniels, who grounded out and lined out. Yeah, there you go. Pretty much full speed looking back at the hitter, because it doesn't matter if it's lined out with 2 down. Daniels at 0 for 2. Big opportunity for the Mustangs here in the 4th inning. And the pitch. It tails away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. At one point, Herr had retired 6 in a row. And the pitch. Swung on and foul back. Count levels at 1-1. Daniels coming into the game was hitting .532. Not an RBI guy because he's the leadoff man. He's got 9, though. Not bad for 14 games when you're in that leadoff role. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 down and 2 on. And the pitch. Swung on and driven in the air to center field. Urich is right there to his left. Makes the catch. And the Mustangs are done in the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We are 3.5 complete. It is Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing. This is B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the bottom of the 4th inning. And the Mustangs lead Elizabeth 1-0. Here's Ryan Schaefer. He was at bat during that pickoff play. And the breaking ball is a strike. On the outer half, it's 0-1. Schaefer lined into a double play in the 1st inning against Kyle Daniels, who's incredibly enough thrown just 29 pitches. And the offering had some English on it, down and in. Count is level at 1-1 The Mustangs have been clinging to that 1-0 lead since the first inning. And the pitch down and in took something off it. It's 2-1 to the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Make Stubbs Gas and Oil your next stop heading out of town. During your visit, you can gas up your vehicle, sit down to lunch, get hunting and fishing licenses. Everything you need at low prices. Stubbs Gas and Oil in Wiggins. Curveball is popped up into foul territory and out of play. And the count moves to 2-2 on Ryan Schaefer. Schneider looks back from the dugout for the sign, gets it, relays it to Daniels, the pitch. Swung on and tapped foul on a breaking ball. Count remains at 2-2. Yeah, I don't know if this will be the best pitching matchup, but certainly Fort Morgan's got their best pitcher in Daniels out there. It'll be a 2-2. Here to Schaefer. The offering. Called strike 3, breaking ball in the inside corner, and that's strikeout number 1 for Kyle Daniels. That sends up the left-handed hitting shortstop Willie Weber, who flied to left in his first at bat. Schneider lays down the sign and the pitch, and the curveball is up and away. 1 strikes, and you got to get this guy because Stuart Urich is a big-time hitter. He's on deck. Now Weber certainly can hit as well with an open stance. And the 1-0. Swung on that one is popped up extremely high. The shortstop, Carlito Urquieta, to the right of the bag, ranges under it, makes the catch, and there's 2 down. Well, that's what you want. You got to get Urich up there with the bases empty. And even better with 2 down in this fourth inning. Urich lined to the right fielder McBride in his first at bat. Wind and pitch. Curveball is a strike. Down the middle at the knees, it's 0-1. Here's the wind and offering. Swing and a miss at a fastball at the letters. It's 0-2. Urich's got those old-time socks that we used to play with in the 70s. Called stirrups. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He snuck in a fastball in the outside corner, and Urich strikes out on 3 pitches. 1-2-3 for Kyle Daniels in the fourth inning. Let's head to the fifth. This is shaping up like the game we had 2 years ago when a Fort Morgan first inning run held up for the entire game. It's Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing. This is B106 and B106.com. Well, we're moving along pretty swiftly. Fort Morgan 1 and Elizabeth nothing. As we head to the top of the fifth inning. And Trevor Shurtleff will now be the hitter for the Mustangs against the right-hander Sean Hurst. Did a nice job after issuing a couple of walks there in the first inning. Swing and a miss at a ball up at the letters. It's 0-1 to Shurtleff. He singled and popped out. He's 1 for 2. Simon lays down the sign. And the 0-1. And the changeup is low. Levels the count at 1 strike. And this game stays close like this. Advantage to the home team in the late innings. They get those final 3 outs to play with. And the offering. Squaring to bunt. Takes a fastball outside. Ball 2, strike 1. That's why Fort Morgan would like to generate at least a 2 or 3 run lead. They had the best pitcher in one of the best pitchers in 4A 2 years ago in Mendez, who shut him down. Swung on, line caught by the pitcher. There's 1 down. He caught that one basically waist high. Shurtleff now 1 for 3. And here comes Austin Cosman. Cosman has reached on an air and popped to first into foul territory. He's 0 for 2. He homered here last year. The pitch and the breaking ball is down and away to the senior third baseman. 1 ball and no strikes. To Cosman, the pitch, swing and a miss, swung right through that fastball. It's 1-1. Congratulations to his sister Jamie. I understand she got engaged over the weekend. 1 ball, 1 strike to her boyfriend AJ. And the offering outside with a changeup. Ball 2, strike 1. 1 down, the base is empty in the 5th inning. And the Mustangs lead Elizabeth 1-0 in Elizabeth. Here's the wind, the 2-1. And the breaking ball bounces into Cosman. 3 balls and 1 strike. With Joey Schneider waiting to hit next. And the offering. And that is a fastball for a strike, belt high. And it is 3-2. Cosman putting up all state numbers throughout the course of this season. Here's a big pitch coming to him on the 3-2, and he takes it outside, and Cosman walks. A 1-out walk to Austin Cosman. Here's Joey Schneider, who's been productive so far, a walk and a single. Only run in this game was scored by Shirtliff, who was retired earlier in this inning. Here's the stretch by her, and the pitch, and the changeup is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Cosman with about a 2-step lead at first. And the offering, up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. That's the only bugaboo so far for her. He's issued 4 walks in the game, and he's halfway to number 5. He's got to throw a strike here to Joey Schneider, who's 1 for 1. And the pitch. And that is a strike outside corner. Throw to first. Nice scoop out there on 1 hop by Haber as Cosman is back in diving. Ball 2, strike 1. We're in the 5th inning. Fort Morgan leads Elizabeth 1-0 on a grounder hit by Carlito Urquieta back in the 1st. The stretch, 2-1. Swung on and fouled back as Cosman was running. Not sure that was a straight-up steal or a hit and run. Had a pretty decent jump. 2 balls and 2 strikes. With Urquieta waiting to hit next. Schneider homered in his last game. A 2-run shot against Vista Peak that gave Fort Morgan the lead for good. And he hit it over the center field fence. It is 2-2. The pitch, called strike A on a gorgeous off-speed pitch. Schneider strikes out. He was completely fooled on that one. And there's 2 down. Here's Urquieta, who's grounded out and struck out swinging. Yeah, there's no doubt that was the best pitch thrown by her in this game. He had Schneider completely fooled. The stretch and the offering, up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. To Carlito. That is strikeout number 3, by the way, for her. And the offering, swung on, popped up into foul territory on the right side. Haber might not have any room, and he does not. It's out of play. Count levels at 1-1. We've had lots of pop-ups in this game by both sides. 1 ball and 1 strike. With 2 down and Cosman at first, he drew a walk. Simon puts down the sign. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is right down the middle for a strike. It drops in. It's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Carlito. Cosman again with a conservative lead at first. And the pitch, he's going. It's low and away. The throw to second, up the second base side. He slides and he's going to be out. A perfect throw, a little bit up the second base side, but good enough as the tag was applied by Hagerman. Caught stealing 2-4. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. 4.5 complete. It's Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.com. Let's go to the bottom of the fifth inning. 5, 6, and 7. For Elizabeth, Weston Haber will lead off. Hitting from the right side, and the pitch by Daniels. He bounces it in. Haber grounded out to the shortstop, Urquieta, in his first at bat. 1 ball and no strikes. And Daniels delivers. The breaking ball swung on and missed, a ball that dove into the ground. The count is at 1-1. Both teams have dominated Colorado 7 league play, but when they play each other, usually they're good, solid, competitive games. The pitch up and away with a curveball. Ball 2, strike 1. Ackley Building Center, your one-stop center for home improvement projects. 1402 Mill Street in Brush for flooring, paint, tools, appliances, and more. It's Ackley Building Center. And the 2-1. Swung on in line towards center field. Coming in is Shirley. Still coming. It's going to drop for a base hit. As Weston Haber picks up the base hit for Elizabeth. That's their 4th. Here's the pitcher, Sean Herr. Herr singled his first time up. Let's see, the Mustangs are looking for a bunt here. The pitch, breaking ball is grounded weakly to the third baseman, Cosman. He'll field. He'll throw to first, off line, and off of Cage's glove. Taking off for third, the throw, the tag, and out at third base. On an errant running play there is going to be Weston Haber. There's 1 down. So give the error to Cosman on a very routine throw. But he threw it offline. And then Haber's tagged out as the tag was applied by Cosman. A bad play in the first end of the play, and then a good one on the back end. Yeah, and Austin's got a little bit of an unconventional throwing motion. Not that that was the contributing factor there. The stretch. And the offering. And the breaking ball is grounded off the third base bag down the line. Heading into foul territory, but Kenny Keller gets over there quickly. It's a base hit for Simon. Advancing to second is the courtesy runner over there. Right off the bag. And, yeah, Josh Langford is contesting that, but that was definitely fair. That was fair. That ball hit the bag, it looked like to me. Well, yeah, I thought it hit off the bag, but Austin Cosman is claiming that wasn't the case. So, again, we don't have the benefit of a replay, but that's initially what I saw. That'll bring up Kyle Savickas. Savickas grounded to short. Well, I mean, there had to be some sort of deflection there because the ball ricocheted into foul territory. That's why I thought it hit the bag. Here's the stretch. And the offering to Savickas. And the breaking ball is grounded weakly foul down the third base side.
Let's make them make a play. They can't make a play. Come on, let's go.
No balls and 1 strike. Savickas grounded to short. With 2 on and 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan leads Elizabeth 1-0, but the Cardinals are threatening. And the offering. Fastball is up and away. Levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. The stretch. And the offering. And that curveball is outside. Ball 2, strike 1 to Kyle Savickas. the 8th place hitter, but a very good hitter so far this year for the Cardinals. And it's 2-1. Now we got some activity going over there in the Mustang dugout. They got to forget about that last play. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the stretch. And the offering. Fastball, a strike on the inside corner. It's 2-2. Nice pitch there by Daniels. Yeah, the emotion's starting to run high here on both sides following that base hit down the left field line. And the pitch swung on and lined into left field for a base hit. Rounding third is Pedrick. The throw towards the plate. Cut off by Cosman. No, the tag, and he's out! Cosman was going to cut it off, and the ball went through all the way on one hop. And Schneider applied the tag, and the runner is out. A perfect throw there by Keller, and there's 2 down. The runners advance to second and third. And that is big-time defense by the Mustangs, cutting out Pedrick at the plate. Here's Jackson Wary, who singled. Out of the windup with 2 down is Daniels. Wind and pitch, and the curveball's a strike. Yeah, Cosman was right there. Looked like he was going to cut it off, but he let it go barely over his glove, and Schneider fielded it on a hop and was able to apply the tag. The pitch in the dirt, and he swung at it. I don't think that pitch got to the plate, and he still swung at it. 0-2 on the breaking ball. The Mustangs might get out of this one. At third is Simon. Savickas at second. 2 down in the 5th. Here's the wind and the pitch. Outside. Off the corner, it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here is the wind and pitch. Swung on and popped foul and out of play. The count moves to 1-2. Or check that, it's still at 1-2. Out of the windup is Daniels. A critical at bat here. The pitch swung on, grounded slowly down the third base side. Cosman, bare hands, fires to first, and late. It's a base hit for Savickas. And the game is tied at 1. As scoring will be Simon. And that is 4 base hits in the inning for Elizabeth on the slow roller. Here's Tyler Hagerman. Hagerman is singled and lined out. He is 1 for 2. Yeah, and Cosman made an excellent play. He did everything he could. Bare hand, fired a bullet to first. But the hitter got down the line. Now Elizabeth can take the lead. And now we'll have time called. Josh Langford will convene his infield. Daniels has thrown only 55 pitches. And I still think they're going back to that play on that base hit that Cosman thought was foul. Josh Langford thought was foul. Now I've got a different angle. I'm looking behind the plate but up to the first base side. They're on the third base dugout. And it appeared to me that the ball hit the outside of the third base bag and ricocheted into foul territory. That's not a natural ricochet. It's got to hit something, and Kenny Keller had to go into foul territory. So I know that's the contention of the Mustangs that was foul, but in all honesty, I thought the ball hit the bag. And I'm just calling what I see. As simple as that. And here's the right-handed hitting Tyler Hagerman. 1 for 2. He's had 2 good at-bats. The Mustangs and Cardinals now tied at 1 in the bottom of the 5th inning in Elizabeth. At third is Savickas. Weary at first. The stretch and the offering. And the breaking ball is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. This could be down to a 2-inning game. Daniels looks in, the pitch, swing, and a missing a breaking ball. Beautiful pitch. And the count is level at 1-1. To Hagerman, the stretch. And the offering. Swung on, grounded, foul. Up the third base side. Count is at 1-2. And the pitch upstairs. Two balls, two strikes, two outs, two on. And one in for Elizabeth. And the pitch, runner going. Called strike three with a fastball down the middle. And that will end the inning. However, Elizabeth has tied the game. 1 run on 4 hits. A Mustang error and 2 men left. 5 complete. It's Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth 1 on B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the 6th inning. Fort Morgan 1, Elizabeth 1. A classic game here on B106 and B106.com. It'll be Carlito Urquiera, Kenny Keller, and Trey McBride against the right-hander Sean Herr. And Carlito. Yeah, this whole game changed on that grounder down the third base line. Fort Morgan, I think, let it get to him a little bit, even though they nearly got out of that inning. Urquiera's 0 for 2, grounded out and struck out. So here's Urquiera. This is down to a 2-inning game, perhaps in Elizabeth. Here's the wind and pitch, and he bounces it in. 1 ball and no strikes. Herr's pitch count is up to 93. This could be his last inning. 1-0. Swung on, popped up into foul territory. That is out of play on the right side as Haber gives chase. 1 ball and 1 strike. B&B Appliance, the best appliance store in downtown Fort Morgan. That's B&B Appliance for the best appliances. Shop at B&B Appliance on Ensign Street. 1 ball, 1 strike to the opening hitter of the 6th inning, Carlito Urquiera. Here's the wind and pitch, and the breaking ball is upstairs. 2-1. Wind kicking up a little bit, the temperature's dropping. And the 2-1 offering. Swung on and grounded weakly on the left side. It's going to be barehanded by the third baseman Weir. He throws to first in time. And Urquiera is out number 1 in the 6th inning. And that'll be sending up Kenny Keller. Keller walked and singled. He's 1 for 1. Sean Herr ready. Wind and pitch. Keller takes a fastball down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. The Mustangs scored their lone run in the 1st inning. Elizabeth did counter in the 5th. Keller from the right side with an open stance awaits the 1-0 pitch. And the changeup is down and away. It's 2-0. Trey McBride, who swings a big bat, is on deck. Let's see if Keller can get on for him. The 2-0. Swung on and tapped slowly towards short. Weber's going to charge. He waits for the 5th hop. Throw to first is going to be late. And Weber could not make the play. He waited way too long. It took about 5 slow rolls out there, and Keller beat it out. And Keller is now 2 for 2. The Mustangs pick up only their 4th hit of the game. McBride has popped out and struck out. And here comes pitch number 100 by Sean Herr. It is. Swung on and popped foul, and out of play off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. So Kenny Keller has half of Fort Morgan's hits in the game. Keller with a 2-step lead. Plenty of speed over there. Let's see if he takes off anytime soon. He will not. And that fastball's outside. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out, 1 on. 1-1 in the top of the 6th inning. And McBride wearing 1-1 is at the plate. Herr delivers. And that ball hit him. Slow breaking ball. Got Herr on the left shoulder. Man, the home plate umpire went out there like there was going to be a brawl or something. I mean, it was a slow curve. It just got away. I guess because the emotions ran high in the bottom of the 5th inning, making sure that nothing gets out of hand here in the 6th. Nate Cage has popped out twice. And he will now hit for Fort Morgan. Big situation for Cage. The stretch and pitch. Fastball is up and in. One ball and no strikes. This might be Herr's last hitter if he cannot get Cage out. He's thrown 103 pitches. Swing and a miss on a fastball on the outside. It's 1-1. Found the outer portion of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 down. Keller at second. McBride at first. Plenty of speed on the bases. Pitch to Cage. Swung on and fouled to the screen. It is 1-2. Both teams have committed an error in the game. Elizabeth could have had a big 5th inning, but they had a runner thrown out at third, another runner thrown out at the plate. And stepping off is Herr. On the 1 ball, 2 strike count here to Nate Cage, the sophomore first baseman for Fort Morgan. Runners take short leads. And the pitch swung on, grounded foul down the third base side. Count remains at 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on, grounded slowly to the shortstop Weber. He's going to charge. He'll field. He'll throw on the run in time. Cage is out. The runners move up to second and third. And it'll be up to Adrian Marquez if the Mustangs are going to break this 1-1 deadlock here in the 6th inning. And Marquez has popped out and walked. Mustangs also maybe hoping for, we haven't had a wild pitch in this game yet. The stretch by Sean Herr as he gets the sign. And the pitch to Marquez. And he swings and grounds it weakly to the shortstop Weber. Charges, gloves, throws, and offline, and safe! Safe is going to be Adrian Marquez on the errant throw by Weber. A run scores as crossing home plate is Keller, and the Mustangs lead 2-1. He had plenty of time and made a throw wide of Haber. So no RBI. And it's first and third as the Mustangs lead 2-1. Here's Kyle Daniels, who is 0 for 3. He's due. Got to feel bad for the pitcher, Herr. Wind and pitch. He made the pitch, and that tails away. A routine play that became a little bit more complicated, and errors have killed Elizabeth. It's only 2-1, but those 2 errors have accounted for runs. Swung on and grounded on the left side to Weber. Throw to second, and that's low, but in time to get the force. And the inning is over. The Mustangs score a run. They take advantage of an error, and there were 2 men left. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan 2, Elizabeth 1 on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back at Elizabeth on the first pitch of the bottom of the 6th inning. Ryan Schaefer pops out to the center fielder Shirtliff, and there's 1 down. Here is Weber. The pitch, and the breaking ball is down and away. One ball and no strikes. And the offering swung on foul back. Count moves to 1-1 strike on Willie Weber. Line and pitch. And the breaking ball is a beauty. Down the middle, it's 1-2. 1-2 strikes. Lefty against lefty. One out, bottom of the sixth inning. And the offering. And the curveball is upstairs. Count is at 2-2. And again, you got that big hitter Urich on deck. You want to get him up there with 2 down and the bases empty if you're Fort Morgan. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded to the first baseman, Cage. He'll run to the bag and win the race. And there's 2 down. Daniels was very late getting over there, but he figured, hey, Cage is going to make the play, and that's what he did. And here's Urich. He lined to right and struck out on 3 pitches. He's 0 for 2. As he now bats. A bank that is committed to their community and keeping banking simple. Morgan Federal Bank. 321 Ensign. Stop by and see one of their loan officers. Morgan Federal Bank. There is a difference. The first pitch is a ball. And the 1-0. Upstairs with a fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. You don't want to give in to this hitter. 2 balls and no strikes with the bases empty in the bottom of the sixth inning. Fort Morgan leads Elizabeth 2-1. The left-hander Daniels delivers, and the breaking ball bounces in. 3-1. Well, let's see if Daniels just grooves in a strike, and he throws it outside. It's a walk. First one issued by Daniels in the game. Here's Weston Haber, who grounded out and singled. So Elizabeth has a base runner with 2 down in the bottom of the sixth inning. Daniels gets the sign from Schneider. Urich with about a 2-step lead. The pitch and the breaking ball's in the dirt. All of a sudden, Daniels has thrown 5 consecutive balls. One ball and no strikes. Stretched by Daniels. Long pause the pitch. The runner goes. Nope, a bluff. It's a strike. Throw back to first. Urich back in diving. Count is at 1-1. To Weston Haber. The Elizabeth first baseman hitting from the right side. And the offering. Curveball is fouled off the end of the bat. Behind the plate, it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the sun has come out for the first time in a while, but it's definitely cooled down here in Elizabeth. Urich has got some speed over there, but he wants to take off with a 1-2 count to Haber. And the throw back to first, and Cade's going to have to throw to second to slide. And no, the ball is off the runner. It's off the runner. He's safe. That'll be a straight-up steal there for Urich. So he's in scoring position. So now the runner in scoring position for Haber. Yeah, the throw went off the runner. And the count is still at 1-2. So that's only going to mean something if Haber can come up with a base hit and tie the game. The stretch. And the 1-2. Outside, took something off it. It's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the number 5 hitter in the lineup, Weston Haber, who's 1 for 2 in the game. The stretch by Kyle Daniels. And the pitch. Runner goes to third. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. And it's a strikeout to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left in scoring position. To the 7th we go in Elizabeth. Fort Morgan 2, Elizabeth 1 on B106 and B106.com. We head to the 7th. Fort Morgan 2, Elizabeth 1. It'll be Trevor Shurtleff, Austin Cosman, and Joey Schneider against right-hander Sean Herr, who up to this point has thrown 110 pitches. Shurtleff in the game is 1 for 3. Singled, popped out, and lined out. Elizabeth has committed errors in the first and sixth innings, and those were the innings in which the Mustangs scored their runs. Here's the wind and the pitch to Shurtleff. Swung on and driven down the right side and foul and out of play. 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, and a hit batsman for Sean Herr attempting to go the distance. And the offering. Change up down and away. It's 1-1. Yeah, normally in a 2-1 game, it's a hitting behind the runner or something like that, or a sack. But in this case, the errors have made the difference. Swung on, grounded to Weber at short. He's got it. He sets, he throws high, but there's one down. Not high enough. One down for Austin Cosman. Cosman in the game has reached in an error, popped the first, and then walked. He's officially 0 for 2. The pitch swung on, line, and into right center field for a base hit over the leaping second baseman Hagerman. And the Mustangs pick up their 5th hit of the game, and Cosman is now 1 for 3. Looking for an insurance run. And Joey Schneider is 1 for 2, a walk, a single, and he struck out. Critical hitter for Fort Morgan and Joey Schneider. If they can somehow extend the lead here in the 7th, up by a run. Swung on, that ball is popped into deep right center field to his left, and making the running catch is Urich. Back to first is Cosman. There's 2 down. Man, Urich can cover a lot of ground out there, and that's exactly what he did in right center field. So 2 down for Carlito Urquieta, who is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and struck out in his second at bat. Urquieta getting the signs from third base and head coach Josh Langford. The stretch by Herr. And the offering. Swung on. That one is popped up on the right side and foul out of play. 0-1 to Urquieta. The Mustangs trail in the hit category, but lead in the run category. 2-1 with 2 down and 1 on in the 7th. Simon lays down the sign. The stretch. 2-step lead for Cosman. The pitch. And the breaking ball down and away. Throw back to first. Cosman back and diving. So it's 1-1 to Carlito. On deck is Keller. He's had a very good game. He scored what is right now the go-ahead run he wants to hit in this inning. The pitch swung on and grounded left side, and diving is Weber. It's off his glove. It'll be a base hit for Carlito Urquieta. The Mustangs have their 2nd hit of the inning and their 6th of the game. And here comes Kenny Keller, who has singled twice and walked. He could give the Mustangs an insurance run here in the 7th, up 2-1. And Sean Herr continuing to battle out there, 118 pitches. The stretch. And Keller awaits the pitch. And he swings and pops it up into foul territory. The catcher, Simon, gives way as it's out of play. And it's 0-1. Keller got down that first baseline quickly. I don't think he knew where the ball was, but hey, that's what you do. Doesn't matter where the ball's hit. You take off. That's fundamental baseball. You see so many times at the higher levels, they know it's foul, and they don't run anyway, and that's not the example that you want to provide to the younger players. No balls and 1 strike with 2 down and 2 on in the 7th. And the pitch to Keller, and the breaking ball is inside, and the count levels at 1-1. Cosman at second, Urquieta at first. 2-1 Fort Morgan at the top of the 7th inning. The stretch by Herr, and a pitch to Keller. And he swings and misses at a fastball in the outside corner. 1-2 as Herr reared back on that one. Keller back in the box. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch, and he bounces it in. Beautiful backhanded play by Simon. 2-2. Yeah, if he can somehow work a 3-2 count. Swung on and popped foul to the screen. It remains at 2-2 to Kenny Keller. Herr gets a sign. And the pitch. And he bounces it in. It skips away. Cosman takes off for third. Urquieta to second. First wild pitch of the game. Okay, now a base hit could score 2. 3-2 to Keller. This will be pitch number 125 for Sean Herr coming up. And on deck is Trey McBride. The stretch. And the pitch to Keller. Swung on and lifted towards the shortstop, Weber, and he comes in, makes the catch. And that's it. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left in scoring position. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning in Elizabeth. Fort Morgan 2, Elizabeth 1 on B106 and B106.com. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning in Elizabeth. Kyle Daniels has thrown just 75 pitches. He'll face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters as Fort Morgan leads Elizabeth 2-1. Sean Herr, Grant Simon, and Kyle Savickas. Wind and pitch, and the breaking ball swung on and missed. It's 0-1. Fort Morgan has stranded 10 runners in the game, so if they don't hang on, they've got nobody but themselves to blame for that stat. The pitch, swung on and lined into right field for a base hit on an 0-1 fastball in the outside corner, and Herr is the tying run at first base. Here is Grant Simon. Hit into a fielder's choice and singled. Simon at 1 for 2. Now let's see if a sac bunt is on here. I mean, it would make sense. They're the home team. With 3 outs to play with and trailing by 1, the stretch. And the pitch squaring to bunt, but it's way outside on the breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes. This is a critical game for the Colorado 7 League Championship. They'll play another one on Wednesday. And the 1-0 swung on and popped foul. He was swinging away on that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, this is the bottom of the order coming up, even though Savickas has had a big year average-wise. Let's see if he squares to bunt or he swings away again. Simon awaits. 1-1 pitch, and the breaking ball is high. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Mustangs are 4-0 in Colorado 7 League play against Elizabeth since their inaugural season of 2013. Daniels throws back to first. Sean Herr was on top of that one, getting back in easily. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Fort Morgan leads 2-1. The stretch. Now scoring to bunt. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is grounded to short. Urquieta to his right. Flips to second for 1. No throw to first. And there's 1 down. And that was the logical play on a ball not hit very hard. And here is Kyle Savickas. He's grounded out and singled. Keep in mind the lone run of the game for Elizabeth was driven in by the on-deck hitter Jackson Weary on an infield single. And the pitch, swing and a miss, and a breaking ball up in the zone. No balls and 1 strike. Stop, shop, and save at the Brush Grocery Cart. 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. 2-step lead at first. And the offering swung on and popped up. The second baseman, Pollitt, to his left on the edge of the grass. Now into the grass, makes the catch. And there's 2 down.
Number 10, Jackson Weary.
And here is Jackson Weary. Well, Weary might be the number 9 hitter, but he's got 2 hits in a game. Cosman playing in on the edge of the grass at third. With a courtesy runner at first. That's Simon. And that pitch in the dirt gets away, and now Simon to second on the wild pitch. Oh, boy, that's a critical wild pitch. Now Weary with a 1-ball, no strike count. A base hit in the outfield can tie the game. 1 ball and no strikes in the bottom of the 7th inning with 2 down. Fort Morgan leads Elizabeth 2-1. The stretch by Daniels. And the pitch to Weary. And the breaking ball is lined towards center. And Shurtleff to his right makes the catch. And the Fort Morgan Mustangs have won in Elizabeth over the Cardinals by a score of 2-1. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left in the 7th. Fort Morgan 2, Elizabeth 1. It's a 2-minute break on B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan Mustang post-game show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, there to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals at Morgan Community College. The Fort Morgan Mustangs come into Elizabeth and win the game by a score of 2-1. 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 10 left on base for Fort Morgan. 1 run, 8 hits, 2 errors, and 5 left on base for Elizabeth. The winning pitcher was Kyle Daniels. Going the distance, he improves to 5-1 and dropping to 4-2, taking the loss. The hard luck losing pitcher Sean Herr. Time of the game, 1 hour and 43 minutes. The Mustangs took a 1-0 lead in the opening inning, and part of it was created by an error by the third baseman Weary. Later on in the inning, Carlito Urquieta with 1 down would ground out, scoring a run, but then back came Elizabeth in the bottom of the 5th inning. Weary with an RBI single tied the game at 1, and then with 2 down in 2nd and 3rd, a ground ball. Kenny Keller was able to score on a ground ball and an errant throw by Weber. And that was essentially it. The Mustangs won the game 2-1 as an error decided this game in favor of the Fort Morgan Mustangs on a 2-out 6th inning error. The Mustangs moved to 10-0 in Colorado 7 league play, 12-3 overall. Elizabeth drops to 9-1 in league play and 11-4 in the season. These two teams will hook up once again coming up on Wednesday, 4 o'clock on B106 and B106.com. Outstanding job by our sound engineer and producer, Braden Godin. I'm John Beltran with the final score in Elizabeth. Fort Morgan 2, Elizabeth 1 on B106 and B106.com.